Okay, I want to give you a video that hopefully can help you with your project, making a scatter plot, regression line, the graphing end of that. So I'm going to give you two options. If you have others software that you would rather use, you're welcome to do that. I'm going to show you how to do this with Excel and then also with Desmos. Excel should come on your computers, and Desmos is a free software that everybody could have access to. So with Excel, the option that I want you to use is this Data Analysis tab, but it's possible that you don't have it. Okay, when you click on Data, if you don't see Data Analysis, then here's what we need to do first. Okay, you're going to go to File. Right, so I'm going to click on this File button over here, and I want to go all the way down to Options. You can see that way down here, kind of goes off my screen a little bit. Okay, but I click on Options, and you want to come over here after you click on Options to Add-ins. Okay, so down here on Add-ins, we want to select this Data Analysis Tool Pack. So we got Add-ins, and then we're going to highlight Analysis Tool Pack. Now here's where people will make a mistake. Do not click OK here. Do not click OK. All right. We click Add-ins. We click the blue, and we're going to click Go. All right. We go to Go. We want to highlight these first two, or check these first two boxes, and click OK. Now once you've done that, if you hadn't before, when you click Data, you will see the Data Analysis. Okay. So now what I can do when I have this Data Analysis, it offers a little bit more statistics than general Excel is used to dealing with for us. So I want to find, in particular, regression. This is what our project centers around, is doing a regression, right? We've got several variables involved. These are the same variables that Desmos will offer us, so I'm just going to use those. So I want to double-click on the Regression tab, okay? And just be careful. The first thing it asks you for your Y input range. Usually we have X and then Y. So make sure you grab the Y variable first, and then come over here and grab your X variable. Just highlight them all the way down. So it should have those highlighted. And then make sure you click the box Labels. Okay, I'm going to want labels on my graph, and notice when I came over here and selected my variables, I had also highlighted the labels. Those were the cells. Okay. Then down here, we are going to check the box for the residuals. We know that those are very important. We're going to check the box for residual plots, and then also for a line fit plot. So the line fit plot is going to look a little different than how we normally make it in class, but it's okay. It'll serve our purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So now I have, I have a couple of graphs that will copy and paste easily into a Word document. So if I'm typing up a Word document or PowerPoint slides on a poster, I can easily get this in here. Now, remember what we usually do in class is these orange dots are just a line, right? We usually just make the line of best fit, the least squares regression line, right? And then to calculate the residuals, we calculate the distance, the actual value that is on the plot, and subtract from that the predicted value. Well, the predicted values are these orange points. They just make them as points. You can see those are the predicted heights. So even though it's not a connected line, you could probably insert a connected line if you would like to. If you want to play around with the plot properties on there, you can more than likely connect a line that will, let's see, connect those dots if you would like to, right? If you want that least squares line. We can do that, but it's not imperative. Then you also have your residual plots, and look at that. We can see there's a clear pattern in the residual plots, which is not good for the linearity of our model, right? Okay, so that's how you can make your graphs, your scatter plots, and your residual plots in Excel. Okay, and then you also have your least squares regression line printout here that we talked about how to read and interpret that in class as well. So now I want to look at this software called Desmos. Okay, so if you just go into Google or wherever your web browser is and type in desmos.com, okay, you can create an account. If you already have an account, even better. You might be more familiar with the software than I am, I'm just going to show you how you can, sort of work your way through this. And Desmos kind of leads the way on that. So if you click over here for help, right, so it leads me off with what is it that I'm trying to do, and what we want to do is regression. So if you click on that, it'll kind of walk you through what to do, right? Let's get some sample data. So when I click on this, it opens up a Google Doc, and I can highlight these two lists. Notice these are the same two lists that I just had in Excel, as I used them earlier. So I'm going to copy these lists. I'm going to bring it over into Desmos. When I click in here and click I can just hit Control V to paste that, and it'll put the list in there, and then automatically, look, Desmos gives me my scatter plot. Okay, and we can kind of see from this plot that that is bending or curving a little bit. So now I want to add a new item, and Desmos prompts me, what do I want to add? I want to add an expression. So as a statistician, this wasn't super intuitive to me. It's not how I would have expected this to work, but we can go ahead and do that. So I click on the expression here, and I want to put that trend line in, right? And it uses MX plus B form, not what we normally use in stats, but it's okay. Watch, as I start to type in Y and then the number 1, it automatically adjusts for me. Now that tilde key that you see here, I just hit Shift and the button right above my Tab key on my keyboard. That's where I find that. I think Desmos says that it's on their keyboard down at the bottom here as well. And then I type in M, X, and the number 1, okay, and then I add my plus B. And it's defined those parameters for me. So it's found my least squares line. It's got R and R squared. It's calculated both of those for me, okay. And if I want the residual plot, okay, I can plot the residual plot, and this is kind of nice. It reminds you of the TIN Spire a little bit. The residual plot is here with the actual scatter plot. Okay, so the other thing that would be good to have here would be our labels on the plot. So when I click on Graph Settings, okay, I would like to label that x-axis, all right? I'm forgetting what that was called. The x-axis was position, and the y-axis was height, right? So the x-axis is position, or whatever your x variable is that you're working on, and then this was something like height. So now my graph is labeled. I have position down here, and I have height up here. If you want to take this graph and put it into your report, I want to show you, everybody's computer should come with, I pinned this snipping tool down here. You can probably search for it. It's called snipping tool, but I pinned it to my taskbar because I use it a lot, especially as a teacher, making documents and graphs for classes and lessons a lot. So when I grab that snipping tool and I click New, I can just come right to my graph and just grab whatever part of this that I would like to use for my project. Okay, and now when I come up here to File and Save As, I would just save this, in my picture somewhere. Okay, give it a title if you want. And now if I have a Word document open, so I'm typing my report, or if this is a PowerPoint, it would work just the same way. I can just come up to Insert, and I'm going to insert a picture, and I'll be able to put that graph right into my report. Okay, and then have my description underneath of it and everything. So a couple different ways that you can make graphs for your project for Chapter 3.